Hi everyone. So up till now we discussed how we can initialize a map, and we also discussed some of the common operations that we can perform on a map. That means how we can get value from a map using the get function, how we can replace the value using the put function or add a value to the map using the put function, and how we can remove the value from a map using the remove function. We also discussed about the size function earlier, which is going to tell us how many elements are present inside the map. Now let's discuss another important method, which is going to tell us if a particular key is present inside the map or not. Because all the operations that we are performing on a map, those are corresponding to keys. So we should know what is the key first of all. And it might be possible that we want to find out if a key is present inside the map or not. And if you remember in the previous tutorial, we also discussed that keys inside the map are behaving in a set fashion. And in set as well, we can find out whether a particular value is present inside a set or not. So we covered this in the previous tutorials where we were talking about set. And if you remember, we had this contains function, which used to tell us that if this particular value is present inside a set or not. So similarly, what we have for map, we have this function, or I can say this method, which is known as contains key. And the contains key method is going to tell us if this particular key that we are passing within the parenthesis is present inside this map or not. This particular code is going to return us true if the key is present inside the map. Otherwise, it is going to return us false. So let me do one thing. Let me copy the map code from top to bottom, and we'll get started from here so that we don't need to execute the whole thing again and again. And what I can do, I think I can remove this particular statement where I'm storing a value for key number 3. So now what should happen? So if I ask Salesforce that, hey, is key 4 present inside the map? Then it is going to check the whole map and it is going to tell me, okay, key 4 is present inside the map. So it is going to return us true, right? And if I'm going to check that is key 3 present inside the map or not. So if you see here, key 3 is not present inside the map, right? Because we are not passing any particular value corresponding to key 3. So this time it should return us false. Let's execute the code till here and let's see how it works. Now if you see, the first statement is, does student map contain roll number 4? So I'm checking, does student map contain roll number 4? It contains roll number 4, right? It contains the key which is having a value as 4. This is why we are getting it as true. And then we are checking, does student map contain roll number 3? Does student map contain roll number 3? And then we are checking whether the key 3 is present inside the map or not. So if you see in this whole map, key 3 is not present. We don't have any particular entry corresponding to key number 3, which is why this is coming as false. I hope this is clear. The next thing that we need to understand is empty function. Sometimes I'm using the word function here and sometimes I'm using the word method here. So I'm using those words interchangeably, but in reality, these are methods. So whenever we have a class and we have some functions which are present inside our class that we can call, so those functions are called as methods. Okay. It will be more clear when we'll talk about classes and objects and things like that. But for now, you can just consider that we are calling methods. So even if I say function, we are calling methods. So what this method is going to do? This isEmpty method is going to tell us whether our map is empty or not. So it is going to check if the map is empty or not. And this is very similar to what we have used in case of list and set. If I scroll above and if I tell you, in case of set as well, I think we had this method. I think I did not display it to you, but we do have an isEmpty method for set as well, which is going to tell us whether the set is empty or not. And similarly, I think we discussed that in list too. So if I scroll above, yeah, so if you see, we discussed this method in list as well. So all these collections like list, set, and map, they have some common methods. For example, isEmpty method, which is going to tell us if the collection is empty or not. So what we are doing here, we are checking if the map is empty. It is going to return us true if the map is empty, and if the map is not empty, it is going to return us false. Then what we can do, we can again use the clear function or the clear method. So this is also something which we discussed in the previous tutorials as well. And what a clear method will do, it will clear all the key value pairs from the map, or I can say it will remove all the elements that are present inside the map, and it will make the map empty. So I'm first of all checking if the map is empty or not, and then I'm clearing all the values, and then I'm displaying the whole map here, And I'm also displaying the size of the whole map using the size function once again. I think we can do one change here. So what I can do, after clearing the map, we can again check if the map is empty or not, and then we can display the whole map along with its size. So let's execute the code till here and let's see how it works. These two statements are coming from the earlier code, which was here, that if the map contains a key S4 and 3, yes or no. So it contains a key 4, but it doesn't have a key 3, which is why this is coming as true and this is coming as false. And after that, now I'm checking, is the student map empty using the isEmpty function. So this is coming as false because student map is not empty. We have values inside our map. And then what we are doing, we are using the clear function to clear all the elements inside the student map. And then we are again checking, is the student map empty using the isEmpty function. So this time it is coming as true because we removed all the values from our map. And finally, we are displaying the student's map here, which is showing us an empty map. And if we check out how many values are present inside the map, it is coming as 0 because now we don't have any value which is present inside our map. What I can do, I think I can show you the map before clearing out as well, so that it's even more clear. So just to show you once, let's execute this whole code. So what I did is I added 2 more debugs here to display the whole map and to display the size of the map before checking isEmpty for the first time. This is the whole map, right? And the size of the map is 5 because I have 5 values. So this is value 1, this is second value, this is third value, this is fourth value, and this is the fifth value. And by values, I mean the key value pairs. So total elements inside the map is 5. Then we are checking, is the student map empty? So it is returning as false because map is not empty. And finally, we are clearing all the elements inside the student map. So we are using the clear function here to clear all the elements from the map. And then we are again checking if the map is empty or not. So it is returning as true. And we are displaying the map once again. So earlier this map was coming like this. And now this map is coming as empty because we cleared everything using the clear function. And this clear function is right here. And then if we see, the size of the map is now coming as 0 because we cleared all the elements from our map. So what we understood that the isEmpty function is going to tell us whether a map is empty or not. So it is going to return us false if the map is not empty, and it is going to return us true if the map is empty. And the clear method is going to remove all the elements from the map. So it is going to make the map empty like this. So this will come as true now because we are using the isEmpty function right here, and the size will come as 0. Okay. Now there is one last topic that I want to cover, and we'll be done with maps collection as well. Now, if you remember, we were talking about that the keys are stored inside the map in a set fashion, right? So what if we want to get all the keys from my map? So instead of getting a value corresponding to a particular key, I want to get all the keys from my map. How we can do that? And let's say instead of keys, I want to get all the values from my map. So I don't want to get a value corresponding to a particular key. I want to get all the values that are present inside my map. And if you remember, the keys cannot have duplicates. If I talk about keys, they cannot have duplicates. Okay. Although there is no such restriction for value because value is always mapped to a unique key, right? So we can have the same value, or I can say the duplicate value corresponding to a particular key. This is also possible. So what will happen? If I want to extract all the keys from my map, I can use the keyset method. So the keyset method is going to return us a set of keys. Okay, it is going to return us a set of keys. And I can similarly use the values method to extract all the values from our map. And this method is going to return us a list of values. You may ask that, Rahul, why do we have a set of keys and why do we have a list of values here? This is because the keys are unique, right? So a set makes more sense to extract the keys because they are already unique. And if we talk about values, values can be repeated as well. For example, if I modify this particular map, I can say that I want to have Dinesh added corresponding to key number 6. So what we'll have in this case, even if we get the value for key number 2, we'll get it as Dinesh. And if we get the value for key number 6, we'll get it as Dinesh. So we can have values which are duplicate, but the keys are always unique. You always have unique keys, which is why a set makes more sense. So if we try to extract all the keys, we can use the key set function and it will return us a set of keys. And if we want to extract all the values, we can simply use the values method and it is going to return us all the values. And the values will come as list because we can have duplicate elements that are present in our values. And this is corresponding to different unique keys. So the keys are still unique, even though the value is the same. And one more thing to notice here is that we created a map of integer and string, right? So we created a map of integer and string here, which is why the keys will have a data type as integer and the values will have a data type as string. So if you see here, the key set is having a data type as integer. So in this case, we are getting a set of integers and the values is having a data type as string. So this is why we are getting a list of string. So it depends on what data type you are using for key and value, and you will get the same data type for your keys as well and for your values as well. So in case of set, we'll have the data type which is corresponding to the key, and in case of list, we'll have the data type which is corresponding to the value for our map. Let's execute this whole code once and this will be clear. So instead of executing the code from top to bottom, I can simply copy this statement here. So I can have map here, and I'm not populating it again, I'm just initializing the whole map from scratch, and I can execute only this code. So if you see, I created a new map here, and this map had 6 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The second element and sixth element had the same value, which is Dinesh. Let me show this to you as well once. So what I can do, I can display the whole map. Let's copy these statements too, and we can paste it here, and let's execute the code. So I can remove this part and let's execute the whole code. So now if you see, we have 6 elements, right? So if I show you the map, the first element is Richard Hendricks, second is Dinesh, third is Guilfoyle, fourth is Elric, fifth is Monica, and sixth is again Dinesh. So this Dinesh value is repeated inside the map for 2 keys. So it is coming for key number 2 as well. Let me use a yellow color so that it's more clear. So it is coming for key number 2 as well, and it is coming for key number 6 as well. And this is what we have entered. So we have entered this value for key number 2, and we have entered the same value for key number 6. So we can have duplicate values as values inside the map, but we cannot have duplicate values as key inside the map, because let's say if you use the same key here, let's say instead of 5, if you use 2 here, then it will automatically override the value which is present at key number 2 with this new value. After that, what we are trying to extract all the keys using the key set method, and we are trying to extract all the values using the values method. So if you see here, keys of student map is equal to keys, and this keys is nothing but a set of integer. So we are getting all the keys here, and these keys are nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is nothing but the keys that are present inside our map, right? And if I show the values, so values of students map is equal to student names. So this is nothing but the values which is coming as a list, and we are getting this using the values method, and the values are nothing but all the values that are present inside the map. So we are getting Richard Hendricks, Dinesh, Guilfoyle, Ulrich Bachmann, Monica, and again we are getting Dinesh. So these are the keys which are returned using the key set function, and these are the values which are returned using the values function. So I hope this part is clear to you. This is how you can get the keys and the values, or I can say you can extract the keys and the values from your map. I'm covering all these methods because all these methods are important when we are going to work on triggers and classes or complex code going forward, right? Then all these methods will be very useful for us to understand and build a logic. So that's all for our collections part. And with this tutorial, I think the collections part is complete. We discussed about list, we discussed about set, and now we discussed about map as well. And just to recap, in this tutorial, we discussed about how can we find out if a particular key is present inside the map or not using the contains key method. We can find out if a map is empty or not using the isEmpty method. We can clear all the elements from our map using the clear method. And we can also extract all the keys from our map using the key set method. And it is going to return us a set of keys. and the data type will be similar to what we have in the key. And we can similarly get all the values from our map using the values method. And this is going to return us a list of values, and the data type is again going to be the same as the data type for the value inside our map. I hope this tutorial is clear to you. Let me know your feedback in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.